Just about every photographer I know wants to share their work. Maybe not to a room full of strangers, but at least to family and friends. One of the best ways to do that, that'll have the most impact, is to share a printed photograph. And in this case, a printed calendar. Something that people will enjoy and cherish for many weeks, months even. Hi, I'm Rob Hull, and I want to show you today the Calendar Designer. It's a set of actions and templates that can be used with Photoshop to create your own calendars made with your own images. First off, let's look at what the calendar is going to look like at the end. In this particular calendar, the image of the baby is mine, and then we've laid out a calendar. In this case, it's January 2022. And we have a lot of flexibility in what we can do with this calendar, but this is what the end result is going to look like. In order to use the actions, first off, they need to be loaded into Photoshop. But when you're running the actions, you have to have two files open. One, the image file that you're going to use, and two, a file that's a template for the months, which would be named something like 2022 calendarmonths.psd. It's a Photoshop file. Those are the only two files that you should have open on your desktop when you start to run the action. So let's take a look and see what happens when we do that. In this case, we have the image of Hazel open there, and I'm going to go over and look at the actions. And I've loaded the Calendar Designer actions into Photoshop, and in this case I have it set to button mode so that you can see all the different actions that'll run. All the actions that are up here in the green are the actual design templates for the larger calendars. That's what you run first. In order to create the calendar, that's what you'll run. And below them, you've got modifying actions, which can only work on the file once you've created the calendar. So you can adjust the background color, the texture, and that sort of thing. So let's just run through this and see exactly what happens. With Hazel as the active template, I'm going to come over and I'm going to select the single page 8.5 inch wide calendar. When I click on it, it's going to give me a message that explains what we're going to do now, that you should have two files open and which file needs to be open. I'm going to hit continue, and it's going to give me a cropping box that I will then drag and crop the image. What this is the aspect ratio of the calendar itself. Once I select the crop that I want, I'm going to hit continue, and in just a moment Photoshop will lay out the calendar. And this message at the end just tells you that now that you've got it set up, you can run one of the modifying actions to modify it. So let's do that. You'll notice here that there's a banner, and in the background the banner is just a gray. That's the default color for it. Let's say we want to change this banner color. Over here under the modify actions, I've got a banner color action that can be run. Before I run it, I'm going to go over here and select the foreground color. I'm going to take the eyedropper and just get a little bit of the blue out of her eyes there. And then when I run the banner color, it's going to take the foreground color and apply that to the banner. I hit continue, and now you'll notice that the banner color is changed to the blue that I selected out of her eyes. Now, there's a lot of other actions, a lot of other modifying actions that you can use here. We can change the design of the calendar and so forth, but this is what the basic calendar is going to look like. And if I open the layers, you'll notice over here now that we have the calendars and all these separate layers, which allow you to make some of the adjustments that we just talked about. For example, you can customize your name under it, put an image title, change the color, change the background color, whatever you'd like to do, you're free to do that with this file. The file that was originally used is not changed at all, and neither is the template file. Instead, you'll notice up here when the action finished that I have my calendar, and it's created a separate file. you can now go in here and just do a save as and save this file as however you'd like, and it's got all the layers on it for you to work with. It certainly cuts down a lot of the time it takes to build these calendars, and certainly hope you enjoy it.